Hello, everyone, and welcome. Illiana Stock Car Radio episode number 90. 90. We're getting up there, Chris.
Yeah,
Almost
that's
triple digits.
we're getting damn near Dick Trickle numbers.
Well, 90 was a Dick Trickle number.
It was. Was what the Heilig Myers, I think.
The Junie
Not to
car.
put too close spin on the clip from Door Bumper Clear going around about recognizable paint schemes.
But that surely is one. Jeremy Banning here with you, and with the brothers Goodacre, Chris and Brian. What do we got going on this week, guys?
I'm buried in stuff.
Shady Hill got their first weekend.
Well, see, there you go.
Big news out of Shady Hill Speedway. We have a new track record from Valparaiso's own Frank Marshall.
Ooh.
Bested, got my note here. Josh Loesch. Excuse me. Josh Loesch. Jesus, that's not even the right name. Derek Loesch. Bested him by 9 1,000ths of a second with that super fast track that became super rutted by the features.
Well,
and a lot of chiropractor visits this week, it sounds like. But
nothing wrong with that. They got to make their money too.
Yeah. But we got it in. Good car count. I'd like to see the stock cars up from 7. I know there's a little bit of pushback because we had to cut the pay there. We're not going to run 14 times for $1,000 to win or 1,100, whatever it was. So, you run twice as many races, you cut the purse in half, and, a lot of the cars decide they don't want to show up.
Yeah, Matt's funny like that.
Yeah, it's also early in the year. Maybe people aren't quite ready, but a good show nonetheless. We do have to take a moment here and send get well soon wishes to Dirty Bob's daughter, who had to be removed from the premises due to an injury. I know he came on and put a big apology out for extending the night. Bob, you ain't got to apologize, man. Kids will be kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shit happens. Shady Hill kids.
Shit happens, Could have happened to any of them. Just unluckily, unfortunately, it was your kid. So don't apologize. Night went without any more problems. And honestly, that probably was the best thing for the night because I think we had one caution afterwards. So
that'll do it.
But yeah, good night nonetheless, and look forward to.
Did he lose his words for a second?
I'm looking.
Didn't he write the script?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to look down at my notes. We are officially at 6 hot dogs for the year. I was very busy, and I have to thank Anthony Carter because he bought it for me. I did not buy one this week.
This guy's got a hot dog sponsor.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make this a thing: T-shirts, hats, stickers. I know Jay Freet has a hot dog sticker that. That'd be cool. But yeah, this hot dog thing is far more than just a funny joke at the end of the podcast. This is a real movement.
It's a real deal, man.
Hot dog.
Yeah, that means we got people watching. I'm all for it.
Yeah. Hashtag racetrack steak or whatever somebody calls it.
I think Stan calls them tube steaks, I think. So.
Yeah, hashtag tube steaks.
Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, that must be it. Something like that. Let's see what else.
I think out west we probably have set a record for number of inches of rain in the race season.
Yeah, it looks like they might as well race boats over the Grundy County
Just about,
Speedway this
God, the number of times the entire infield has been underwater is ridiculous.
And it was underwater again. Rich posted this yesterday. There was a whole new lake out there.
Yeah, I'm going to need waders and muck boots, probably at some point a rowboat just, to oar my way out into the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, well, you're going to get lost in there. You're going to need a life jacket.
Yeah. When you're having to kick the fish back into the pond because they have swam out of the pond.
Yeah, they got lost. It's okay. They can't remember. It's fine. But they did get some racing in though last weekend.
They did. I know there's a little bit of contention over the new late model division, and it's somewhat lackluster car count. But I think, like Brian said about Shady Hill, we're early in the season. It's a brand new division to the track. A lot of local guys I hear are building cars that aren't ready yet, and the ones that we had for the Big 8 show probably all live in Wisconsin and don't want to drive that far south on a Friday, which going through Illinois on a Friday, I 100% understand.
Yeah, it is a little bit rough. That is for sure. But I mean, you're the middle of May, it's tough.
Right. I know some local teams that don't have their car all the way together either.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, how's that?
Hey, the
how's
cars,
that little?
the cars are together. They're just missing something very important from Goodacre Design at this
Hey,
point.
All
we
right,
got-
it is sitting in the back seat of my truck right now.
Oh, we weren't just gonna throw duct tape on there.
No, bro.
Have you met Stan?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've met Stan a few times.
you've been working back and forth with him on the decals. You know how particular he is.
Oh my God, yeah, it's a learning process,
Mhm.
and thank God I got my dad's patience because I need him. And it's okay. You know, I would much rather have someone, hey, I want it to look this good, very particular, as opposed to someone that just I don't care, and then I do something and then they see it and they're like, I don't like that. I want something different, you know.
Yeah,
when
I've
they
done that road
actually
a few
did
times.
care.
I mean, yeah. So I prefer Stan's way of thinking and demands than someone who doesn't care and then decides they want something different.
So
Mhm.
that'll be.
Speaking of
yes.
something different,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Wait, you're trying to segue
I
here?
feel like he's
segue, yeah,
segueing.
segue. Come
Oh,
on, help me
alright.
out.
Oh, we're talking about something different.
We are.
Yeah.
On this
He's
episode,
flexing his host muscles. We're gonna have to.
okay, we got
to throw him to the wolves.
We got to get that in check, but we will throw you to the wolves here in a minute because this week we mentioned it in our preview, kind of a 2-for-1 guests this week. First, we're going to bring in Anthony Craven, as the son of Richard Craven. The Kankakee County Speedway has a Richard Craven Memorial coming up this weekend, so we thought it'd be a good idea. Obviously, Brian put out the SOS on the last show, looking for some information about Richard and his legacy in the local short track scene, just so we could, do the memorial event justice. So Anthony kind of answered the bell. So we will have him on here, and then one of the competitors that'll be convening in the event, Stephen Brooks, will come by and he will chat with us as well.
Hopefully soon, as long as he remembers.
I do have a Facebook notification that I haven't looked at yet because they're recording, but nothing popped up on my phone, so I think we're okay.
So
but he does have the link.
Yeah, so there you go. So I guess without further ado, why don't we bring in Anthony Craven and talk about his dad, Richard, and the legacy he has left on the local short track racing community.
Okay. All right. So welcome to the show, Anthony Craven, son of Richard Craven, as we get ready to talk about the upcoming Richard Craven Memorial over at Kankakee Speedway this Friday night. When this airs, it'll be that day. And so welcome to the show, Anthony.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Yeah, I know our last episode, I kind of sent out a SOS to anybody that might have any information on your dad, because we have our connection with Stan Kalazinski and kind of came up dry. And, I don't know how much he really went down the dirt tracks back in the day, but he is our go-to for everything Chicagoland racing. And ultimately I ended up on crtowing.com and found a Sarah Craven email and emailed her, and she forwarded it to you. And next thing you know, I'm talking to Richard's son, which is honestly probably the best lead on this.
Should be, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
So, my sister Sarah, me and her, we took over the business. We've worked with our dad for, me 15 plus years, her 10 plus years, and then he passed away last year in March. But so he passed away, but he was, intubated, COVID, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole nother story, but
right.
So we've been running the business for the past 3 years. As far as him racing, Chicagoland, he was actually born, he's been all over the place, but his first time racing, he was 17 years old at Fairbury Speedway. And my uncle, his brother-in-law, had a car. Him and his buddies took it out, thought they could race and whatever, and they couldn't do anything with it. So my dad, he's like, let me show you how it's done. He hops in it. Very first night wins the feature.
Typical racer, right?
Exactly. So that, kind of sparked it. My grandpa was also a race car driver. He raced at Santa Fe, Mazan, a couple places like that,
Yeah.
So as far as his history, it's kind of hard to find because my dad, he did a lot of racing when he was younger. And then, once, because my dad was exactly 20 years older than me. I'm 37 now.
Okay.
So he was 20 when he had me. And then I have 2 sisters. And one of the things was, once around 2008, my mom said, hey, like, you need to spend more time with us and the kids.
Right.
Type thing. So he took a break. We're actually not 2008, I'm sorry, 1998 until 2008. So about 10 years. But I can go ahead, you just ask me some questions, unless you want me to, kind of run down the history.
Oh, championships, features, any good stories. We're always looking for a good story here. I know back in March we'll do the memorabilia show and we'll talk to some older drivers that always want to share some stories that they shouldn't. But we like that around here.
So if you've done the memorabilia show, Jim McCarthy.
Yes, we do.
Jim McCarthy was a good friend of my dad's.
Okay.
And they, it was always one thing. McCarthy would do decals on our cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And my dad, he just wouldn't take any money from my dad. So my dad would have to hide money somewhere for him, because that's the type of guy he is. And then we'd also do work on his car and he'd try to take, pay us. And we're like, no, like Jim,
Yeah.
But that's the type of guy Jim is. But anyways, so I guess it started in 1984, when my dad first raced.
Okay.
So he'd have been around 17. And then he wasn't really, too much into it. He did that with my uncle. And then he had a 4-cylinder that they ran for a year. And then he started moving more towards street stocks, and these were more the street stocks from back in the day where you throw something together and race it. So by 92, he won a few features. He was racing at Kankakee, LaSalle, Fairbury. And then from there, 93 was his real big breakout year. He won the championship at Fairbury and won the championship at Kankakee in the same year.
Awesome.
And he had, I want to say, it was around 5 or 6 Trophy Dash wins and about 25 feature wins throughout the 3 tracks. And one of the things was that, so my uncle, his brother, worked at McDonald's, and he was able to get hooked up with Ed Renzi. Ed Renzi, he went on to, sponsor NASCAR guys.
Yeah.
Things like that. So anytime, my dad would show up, hey, what do you need? You need tires, you need this, you need that. And, my dad, of course, loved it. But my uncle Hank, who was his uncle, so was my great uncle, he was kind of the guy, he was getting the checks and everything. And he didn't like Ed Renzi always, sniffing around because he thought he was going to take his, his cash cow, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So one night they were at Fairbury and Ed came over and was like, hey, you need anything, nice guy. And my uncle's like, no, we don't need any shit from you. He's like, get the hell out of here. You get the hell away from us. So that was the very last time that he ever came and did anything for my dad. So, you talk about stories. That's one of the things that always stuck out to me was knowing how good of a driver my dad was, that, what could have been possible.
Right. Yeah, certainly.
So then from there, he went to Santa Fe for the final year in 95. He dabbled with a modified 94, but it didn't really work out too much. He blew his motor after the 3rd race.
Yeah.
And then 95, he ran Sportsman at Santa Fe. And then, as we all know, that was the last season for Santa Fe.
Right. Yeah.
So once he went there, then he went to limited late model, and he ran that a few times at LaSalle and Kankakee. And then same thing, had motor issues after a few nights, and just really couldn't get it going. And at this point, he was working as a counter guy at a junkyard, so he's not really big money type thing.
Right. Yeah.
He's the type of guy like me. He was always a good dad to me, but it was always, he's working constantly, he's working 40 plus hours a week. Then when he gets home, he's not off at a shop. He's in the garage working on his car,
Yeah.
So until 9, 10 o'clock at night. So that was the whole thing there. And then, like I said, around, well, actually 90, I want to say 97, it was 97 or 98 when they had to have a Tampa show at Route 66.
Okay. Yeah.
He ran, Bill Clemens. You heard that name?
The name sounds familiar.
So Bill Clemens, he was the one that owned Allville County Auto Parts, and that's where my dad worked. And he had a spare car, and my dad ran his late model for the Have a Tampa show there. And he just missed it by one spot. He finished 5th in the B main in top 4 advance. Yeah. So we always say, he used to always say too, one of the things was he did better than Bill, so Bill never let him race again.
Yeah, I know how those car owners can be sometimes.
Yeah, so it happens. And then it was about after that, like I started getting into go-karts a little bit, but
yeah,
I didn't stick with me. And then, like I said, between my mom and him, he took a break from racing for about 10 or 11 years. He came back, I want to say 2008 to Fairbury.
Okay.
And started racing the sportsman division. And then he was battling with, Joel Funk, Rick Thomas, Andrew Funk, those guys, Ben Hulse. So started off, he was doing all right, top fives, things like that. And he'd win a few races. He actually, when it was all said and done, before, like we have Tommy Duncan now, but before him, my dad had 34 feature wins, which was the all-time winningest car
in
the sportsman division at Fairbury. So he, was running good. He finished, I think, I want to say 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and 2nd in the point standings. 2012, he won the championship. He lost to Jeffrey Ledford. I want to say it was Jeffrey. It was either Jeffrey or Mikey. I can't remember, but I think it was Jeffrey by 8 points. It was a really close battle. Him and Richie Rich would battle. So he ran that up until, I want to say 2014. It's about 2014. And then he decided, okay, I need to move up and again. So by this time in 2011, he bought the company that he was working for, which was CR Towing. That's what we have now.
Yeah.
So he was at the same time, he's making this money. So now he's trying to help out the smaller guys, in racing and stuff. So he's trying to give back. And then 2013 is when I got into racing. I started racing, So 2015 is when I told him, I said, we should sponsor the entire class. That's why it's the CR Towing Sportsman class at Fairbury.
Yeah.
And, just trying to revitalize it.
Right.
It is what it is at this point, but
racing's expensive.
Yeah. So when we were trying to make a budget friendly class and make it for guys, basically the weekend warriors.
Yeah, for sure.
So we did what we could. I mean, we still sponsor the class.
Yeah.
But one thing with him, and that's why when it comes to this race, I wanted the street stocks, the sportsmen, the modifieds, and the late models, the 4 core classes, I feel, in dirt racing. And also the 4 classes that he competed in, besides, of course, 4-cylinder. But so we're trying to give back what we can with that and then just show, the smaller guy, like, hey, we care about you.
Right.
And that's kind of what we want to do is we want to put on a show, like to core racing fans, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we had Billy Nippenberg on to do the Kankakee season preview, and he kind of highlighted this state. He had a good relationship with your father, and certainly everyone over at CR Towing now. And he's very excited for Friday. Sorry.
Yeah.
I shoot over at Shady Hill, and we race for between all the races we cover every weekend. It is what it is. But yeah, this was certainly one that I highlighted, and if I can get off work and get over there, I'm gonna try. But Richard sounds like he was very, very talented at driving and had a very illustrious career. The amount of features he won, the championships. It's always good to take a step back and be with family, certainly. But as far as racing goes, I mean, like I was just saying, all these tracks we go to, I don't think I've been to one where I haven't seen at least one car sponsored by CR Towing. And I think that goes to show that you guys are a stalwart in Chicagoland racing. And I mean, obviously you have a way stronger what's the word? Great words escaping me. You guys have a stronger following over there in Illinois in the Fairbury area where because you guys are out of Joliet.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we go over to Grundy. My brother's there on Friday night shooting, and there's plenty of cars that are sponsored by CR Towing. Over at Shady Hill, some of the Fairbury and Kankakee guys come on over. We see a lot of CR Towing, and
that's the thing too. To cut you off real quick, Grundy, Coleman and Son, the tow trucks that are out there.
Yeah.
My dad helped him get his start.
Oh wow!
He sold him his first tow truck.
Small world, man. It's a small world.
Yeah, Calvin, we're good friends with him. I actually live in Dwight, down the street from Calvin. So
okay, cool.
But yeah, awesome. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're okay. You're okay. This is how this thing goes. We have if we want to call it a script, it's more of an outline, really. And we just however it flows. And I think the biggest thing for me was like I heard the name, I've seen CR Towing, but I know nothing about it, and I think, we kind of lined up Stephen Brooks without a premise, and then it just so happened that it fell on this week, and I'm like, this sounds like a great idea. So, I was happy to get a hold of you by any means, and have this the history of Richard and his racing career, and why a track may want to do a memorial race for him, and speaking about on that, what does this memorial race mean to the family and to those over at CR Towing?
I mean, honestly, it's bittersweet. He was 56 when he died. So
yeah, that's young.
It's one of those where he busted his ass his whole life, and then when he finally took a step back, from doing things, that's when he got sick. And like I said, that's a whole nother story. But
right,
it's bittersweet. It's gonna be sweet to memorialize him, and everything. Yeah. But just the fact that he's gone, like he was literally the rock of this family. There was nobody in our family, not just immediate, but his brothers, sisters, my aunts, uncles, cousins. There was nobody that he never helped. He was the type of guy that he would take the shirt off his back for you and then cuss you out as why you needed it. So that's the type of guy he was, and good. He loved to joke, loved to mess around, and it's going to show, on Friday, because we also have, since last year he died, we didn't get to have a memorial race,
Right.
So I'm doing 2 this year, and then every year after it'll be 1. So I'm also having one July 13th at Fairbury.
Okay.
So, but everybody's going to see, the outpouring of support from the drivers and the fans, and family. Just, the type of guy he was. I mean, we had over 750 people at his funeral, just.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's just the type of guy he was.
That's awesome. Awesome. And it's too bad that he passed too soon, and it's awesome that you guys are doing the memorial races. My brother and I, we lost our father, and he was a big supporter of Chicagoland racing. We were Illiana and Grundy, and because of his relationships with people, we have now taken over at Shady Hill Speedway, and we've ventured out to Plymouth and South Bend, and we're in there, and we lost. He was 63 and he had his COVID issues and ended up passing in the hospital, and, pretty young. But I mean, to memorialize, someone so important to you, I think that's huge. That's huge, and it gives you
something right here.
That's awesome.
Camera.
Yeah,
so,
that's awesome. That's cool. To memorialize someone so important to you, you can't help but be excited about this,
Oh yeah, exactly. And we're gonna do a pre-race ceremony. I'll say a couple words, not too much, and then we're gonna spread some of his ashes in victory lane just because he's been there so much. So
Yeah. Sounds like it.
So yeah, we're gonna have that, and we'll have some shirts for sale in the Mars trailer.
Okay.
We had little pullback cars made. We had a memorial event for him to raise some money for this, and it was just, it just blew me away. And I just couldn't believe the support that we got. I should have expected it, but it was just awesome. And then to go back to Stephen Brooks, he's helped us out before with certain races, and he's a good buddy of ours. So he's a good guy.
Yeah, we're very excited to have him on here in a little bit. I know he is one not to mince words, and he's not afraid to call him like you see him, and so he's going to be fun to talk to. That's for sure. And I know he's a fierce competitor, and I think at the bottom line for him is like he still has fun doing it.
Yeah. You have to.
Right. Because if it's not fun, why are we doing it?
Yeah. So, and then too, I had custom trophies made. So after my dad died, one of the things was he had on his bucket list, he wanted to travel Route 66, to Santa Monica.
Yeah.
So me and my wife, we like to travel. So for our honeymoon, what we did, because we got married 3 months after my dad died last year, we traveled majority of Route 66 to Santa Monica. And then I had little decals made. I don't have one with me, but called "Where is Richard?" So it's a picture of him, and I stuck it on different things.
That's awesome. I think I saw that at Fairbury this weekend.
Yeah, I put it on the Victory Lane banner.
Yeah, that's awesome. Until they take it off, right?
Well, they won't take it off the Fairbury one, but they'll take it off the Lucas Oil one. So.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so the custom-made trophies that I have, have the Richard Craven Memorial, all that. I actually made them pink for Kankakee because the year that he won the championship, the trophies were pink and silver.
Okay.
So I tried to replicate that, and then I'm going to put the "Where is Richard" decal on there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I feel like if there's somebody that wins the trophy that doesn't know him, then they'll still be able to look at it and be like, man, this is a badass trophy.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly.
So. But yeah, that's pretty much it for as far as it goes with his history. But
yeah, so I do have a question on here, which I think you've already answered. But I was unaware of the second one at Fairbury, and I have on here why Kankakee as opposed to other local tracks. But sounds like if Santa Fe existed, it'd probably be Santa Fe. But Kankakee and Fairbury seem to be his home tracks, if you will, and so that makes perfect sense to go back and do the memorial for him at those two tracks.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. If Billy didn't own the track, didn't own Kankakee, we probably wouldn't do it there.
They probably want to be racing there.
Well, yeah,
period. He saved that place.
That's another thing too. So if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for him taking over the track, we probably wouldn't have it there. And then Matt Curl has always been good to us in Fairbury, and that's just home tracks. He's been that. He's raced a few other places, but that's where he basically made his name.
Cool. Awesome. So, well, with our podcast, we like to end things with a hashtag one positive. So if there's anything positive racing has, given to you, provided to you, or your family even, we asked if you would like to share it.
I guess if I had a hashtag, it would be hashtag family.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, it brought me and my dad closer together, with that. So, yeah, I mean, that's hashtag family, hashtag father, son.
Yeah. Just make sure you're holding the light at the right angle, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Good.
So, yeah, awesome. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, Anthony. It was awesome to learn quite a bit about Richard and his racing career and all those wins. Kind of sounds like Larry Schuler from the Junkyard Dog days, with all those feature wins.
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, we hope for a good show on Friday night, and hopefully we see you. Yeah. Thanks. Definitely. Thanks, Anthony.
Take care.
After a little hesitation, finally getting a hold of Stephen Brooks. We're happy to welcome you to Illiana Stock Car Podcast Radio. That's a mouthful, I tell you what.
You're just making it worse.
You just got it wrong, man. It's Illiana Stock Car Radio.
It's literally right over there somewhere.
It's his first day.
And the time waiting, I probably had 2 extra beers.
Didn't you just get done hosting a segment too?
I did. Man. All right, let me try that again. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Rewind. All right. Welcome to Illiana Stock Car Radio Podcast.
There you go.
Driver of the, hold on, I have my sponsor list for you because we love our sponsors. Great Lakes Lifting Solutions, C&W Trucking, Pat and Susan Frangella. Is that right?
That's correct.
MyGlassClass.com, Ted Brown's Quality Paint and Body, Night Owl Design, Fast Lane Wraps, Left Hander Performance, Ron and Georgia, Clay Nation, Rhine Competition Engine, Elite Chassis, number 5, Stephen Brooks.
Welcome, y'all. Hey.
We'll have you on. And how's your 2024 season going so far? I saw you were able to keep it on all fours Saturday night at Fairbury.
Yeah, we went for a ride coming to the green Saturday night. It was pretty wild. I think it was the fastest I ever spun out down the front stretch. We've got this new scat panel on this car where it's like this fiberglass type material, and it was pretty crazy because I saw some photos afterwards where it was all the way crushed up all the way to the tire. And by the time I got off the racetrack, it was perfectly straight, so that was really nice. But no, so far the season started out exciting. We've ran second once. Last year we ran a whole bunch of races, only ran second twice. So we was able to see the leader. Ran a couple bigger shows last weekend, 40-plus cars each night. One night had to run the B main, made it into the B main, finished 14th. Second night qualified 5th on 7 cylinders, had a spark plug issue. It took us way too long to figure out. You would think after this long I would know to be able to diagnose it a little quicker, but made it into a heat race, started 5th, and I think we're 7th. So we're just pretty happy with it. New car's been very good, exciting. It's reminds me of my old rocket car a lot, but we had a lot of success in like 10 years ago now. It's been a while. We got all the cool checks on the wall, so hopefully we can get back to those days.
Oh, yeah. Well, we certainly know in the dirt world, ship boxes are pretty good on the track there on race day.
Yeah, this elite ship box. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, when guys can kind of make fun of themselves and go out and win. You know, that's exciting. They're having fun doing it, and that's really what racing's all about, right? It's having fun. In fact, you have a quote I found here: "A 35-year-old living a 12-year-old's dream."
Absolutely. I've been lucky to race for a long time. I think this is year 27. So, I've been doing it forever. I've got in my cockpit right now, it says, smile, you're doing it wrong. It's there's some days that you could be at the track and things could be frustrating, and we always want to win and run well, but some nights it just isn't your night, and we've been humbled a lot, but we're still hungry, so hopefully we get some wins, and no matter what, you'll see a smile on the face, right?
Yeah, that's right. So let's jump in a time machine real quick and go back to 27 years ago when you got started racing. What ultimately was it that got you going?
Yeah, one day my dad showed up. He had a go-kart. Those are my dogs. Had a go-kart in the back of a van and said, asked me to go get a hammer. Said, hey, do you want to, drive this thing? I started driving around. We went out to 41 Speedway. Yeah. I think race number 2, I flipped the go-kart. We were getting lapped by the leaders coming to the checker, and they split me, hit me. I ended up going end over end, had a concussion, broke a pinky, and so now I'm a racer. This is exciting.
Awesome.
Mom and grandma were trying to put an end to it pretty quick at that point, but I think it was next year we had a different cart and started just traveling around, and it's something probably everyone that's listening to this podcast, if you're listening to it, you're somewhat in the world. So once it gets into your bloodstream, it seems like it's impossible to get out. Been blessed to do a lot of different racing over time, whether it's been the pavement stuff, the dirt stuff now. I think it's close to 12, 13 years. The go-karts, been a crew guy, been a driver. We've won some, we've wrecked some, we've done it all.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Let's talk about that pavement a little bit. So Chris and I were track photographers back in the day at Illiana, and, we inherited all of our dad's collection, and we found some old photos of Stephen Brooks driving on pavement for a couple years maybe. Talk about your time at Illiana.
Yeah, man, that place was a wicked half mile. It never had much grip. You'd slide around. I was never really that good there. I think I couldn't even tell you what the best finish was. I know I don't have no trophies to even tell you I raced there.
But you got pictures.
Yeah, we got pictures. It was fun. The pavement stuff. When we moved, I think I ran an Allison Legacy car there at Illiana. Then we ran the pavement late models, the crate late model stuff at the time, whatever that was, the ASA stuff. And yeah, man, that place it was fun to go there. I have a lot of good memories from there. It's just we were to the point where I don't know why we stopped. Pavement racing just wasn't. It was a lot of work and not a lot of racing. The dirt racing's a lot of work, but it's a lot of racing. So it's kind of where it's a little bit more fun for us.
Yeah, and talk about your success dirt racing. I know you've got at least one championship at Kankakee 2 years ago, maybe. It's pretty recent.
Yep. Yeah, we could say we're a two-time, not raining, but two-time past champion at Kankakee. I think I look on the wall, whatever it was. So it's 22, I think, was the last time we won it.
Yeah.
And we're in 24. The even years seem to be a lot better years for me racing wise.
This is your
calling a shot now.
My even year.
Yeah.
Saying the even ones. I got like a bunch of checks from even years, only one from an odd year. So
yeah, awesome. Well, we love a lot of checks. And speaking of a lot of checks, let's talk about this upcoming Friday night show at Kankakee and what Richard Craven kind of meant to you and what this Mars tour kind of looks like as a competitor. I know Matt Curl has taken over the one show the late models came out and did at Shady Hill a couple years ago. Ryan Unziger pretty much had it sewn up after lap 10, and then 20 laps later, Fager and Unziger are putting on Flow Racing's race of the week.
Yeah, man, Richard, we miss him in the pits big time. His laugh was infectious. Every time you see him, he'd have a smile on his face, waving. Tell you what you did wrong. He had no problem telling you that. He'd tell you what you did right too. And if you needed something, if he had it, whether it's a shirt off his back, a bolt or a shock off his car, heck, if you needed a car or a motor and he had it, you was available to it. So really a special guy. Not a lot of people like that in racing, you know. So we definitely miss him. This Friday night, man, I'm excited. Kankakee, the Speedway's been great so far this year. It's exit 308 right off 57. If you guys want to come on out, the race starts at 7. And yeah, the track's been good. It's been 2-3 wide racing. Everyone knows the super late models make that place even wilder. They'll be up on the wall, sparking and arcing. And yeah, the Mars guys are good. You've got Fager, you got Unsickler. We got a bunch of other guys that I know are just as good. We got McKay Wenger's going to be up there in the Curless 99. That's my teammate. Got to make sure we give a shout out to him. And yeah, we'll see who else shows up. I'm sure there's going to probably be a B main and plenty of shit boxes, right?
That's right. Yeah, hell yeah. So moving on to your positive lifestyle, you mentioned hashtag smile, you're doing it wrong, you know. You guys had posted on Facebook kind of the start of the season. You're carrying a banner with you all year. I don't see it. I think it's hashtag smile you woke up.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, you want to talk about that cause for us?
Yep. So Smile You Woke Up was started by my wife's cousin. She, 10, 12 years ago, she had a traumatic brain injury, had to learn how to re-walk, talk, had to do it all. Last year, she completed a full Ironman. This year, she's running a 100-mile race. When I do my runs that I do, she's always on my hip. It's like my shepherd, make sure I don't die, and gives me the motivation and the pep to keep going, I guess. And yeah, so it's her organization is all about movement. It's all about safety, bring awareness to traumatic brain injury survivors, and anything is possible. The fact that she couldn't even hardly walk and did a full Ironman. We went up there and watched that last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. So
that's awesome. So you yourself in your free time are an ultra marathoner, and what got you into that?
I decided I needed to do something hard. My life was too easy, is what I tell people. My wife was struggling with some depression and anxiety and stuff where it just was tough, and I didn't understand it at all. And so I wanted to test my brain and my mind and see how far I could push it. So far, I've been successful. I've been able to run a marathon. Last year, I ran a 50K, and I did it probably with not the proper training or the nutrition or any of the things that we're supposed to do, because my longest run was only 14 miles, but I just told myself I was going to do it. And this year, I just keep running and like Forrest Gump kind of, and going to go for 50 miles in November. So we'll see what happens.
Awesome, man. That's exciting. Well, I'll definitely follow along on Facebook as you post. And speaking of Facebook, you are not one to mince words, and you've had quite the social media presence. In fact, your profile says digital creator. And I know a few years ago, probably closer to like 10 now, you had Juan the racing giraffe and all that, and his travels, and just recently you did a video on Tiregate. That was a big thing. So talk about. I did see Maquoketa Speedway. You love promoters. You love promoters that promote, and honestly, I just love a $2 beer. Let's be real.
But, I wish it was like after features, not before hot laps. Right?
Yeah, right. But talk about your presence and your digital creator side.
Yeah, I'm not bashful. I'm not one that's away or afraid to stir the pot sometimes, for better or worse. So there's some days I'm just sitting around and I'm bored, and I know that I could hit a light switch and get a bunch of notifications and people will be all riled up. But then there's other days where if I'm passionate about something, you're going to know about it too. Same thing, good, bad, or indifferent. If I'm passionate about it, I'm going to be passionate about it. It's fun. The one thing we came up with it one day, and next thing you knew, he had like 4,000 or 3,000 plus friends on Facebook, and I don't get enough time to really do the things that I would love to do anymore. A lot of times it's a distraction to my real life and real work and all the other stuff. But the racing part is where I just kind of still get to do some of those things.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you were last season, you posted that you were hostage taken over to the people of the corn, and you showed up to run Darren Weierman's modified in the Firecracker 50. Talk about that experience.
See, this is where the social media stuff gets you in trouble. Sometimes I post things not even knowing, and then it comes back, right? No, it was a fun day. Darren come up to me on Friday night and said, "Hey, come drive my car on Saturday." I had no real intentions of actually doing it, and woke up the next morning. I was like, let's go there. And I'm getting old. I still love races as much as I always did, but I want to get in and get out and get on to the next thing. Usually get home to the wife and wake up the next morning and get back to work and all those other stuff. So when we're at the track for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, however long we were there, sometimes I might get a little rolly. I think that night too, it was a weird format. So I think we qualified in through maybe qualifying, and then the next time we went on the track was the feature. So it was a little worse.
That 50 show, if you qualify fast enough, you're in the show. So you get your little practice during intermission, and then the big 50 lapper, which ran caution free. How are you feeling? I know a few guys were a little exhausted.
I feel great, man. Better than when I started.
He's that marathoner. He's ready for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
I like the longer. Like I used to be. I mean, there's no joke. There's a time where I would get wore out, and now it's like, hey, lap 25, let's lap 30. We can keep going, boys. I start reeling them in. That's part of the perks.
If you're free and your car's still put together, come September 28th, I think it is. We got 100 lapper.
Oh yeah, I try. It's always on my calendar. I'm going to try to get over there once or twice.
Well, now that I got your contact, I'll chase you down.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like stalking at this point.
You can't get me. Just get a hold of wife. So you can
for sure. I think I just saw her send me a friend request. So speaking of getting things ready, talking about Friday night again, how does does someone like you prepare for a show like this, knowing there's going to be some more talent, presumably, than a regular Friday, and you're set to run, 40 laps, I think it is.
Yeah, no, it's crossing the I's, dotting the T's. That's what we've been going through today and yesterday. We got a fresh layer of wax on her, so we should be able to cut through the air real good. And it's just taking apart and maintenance. The dirt racing stuff, it seems the maintenance program's half of the speed. Everything's getting dirty, everything's getting rusty, corroded. You want to make sure everything's free. So you got to unbolt it all. You got to grease it all. You got to make sure that you didn't have a Hahn go bad over the weekend and kind of stuff like that. I've got a kid that helps me out, Zach, who the second he gets out of school, he shows up and he's been can't say prepping tires. Gotta be careful there. He's been working on the tires.
Let the secret out.
I'll give you guys a tour of the shop here. You can see we're good to go. But no, he's got them grooved. He's got them psyched, all the good stuff. So we're ready to go. We got some fresh body panels on her, some stickers, and last time we were there, we ran real good. I'm excited for Friday. I know there's gonna be a lot of good cars there, but every lap I get in this thing, I feel a lot more comfortable in it. So I feel like we got a chance.
How do you view talent? As putting on a show, it's 2,000 to win. There's going to be some talent. How do you kind of mentally prepare, knowing you're going against some pretty good racers with some pretty good equipment?
Yeah, I revert back to my running. I could show you my cockpit. I have it written right now. I like to write notes to myself. So
hey, that's okay.
The one thing I have, I heard a noise. I know what it was. Sorry. I got written right now. It says you run 31 miles. So it pretty much means I run 31 miles. I could do anything. There's some nights where the track may not be what you really like. You might have to cowboy up a little bit, but flip the switch. And that's one of my toughest things for me. I overthink some things sometimes. So I try to on race day, I'm going to go for a run, try to just make sure my mind's clear and clean and crisp and
get
after it and not think, just react and hope we brought enough to the show.
Well, whether you finish first or last, there's always a cold beer in the cooler.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so if you do happen to win this thing, what is that going to mean to you as someone who knew Richard Craven and misses him?
Man, we'll be having a beer with them in Victory Lane. That's for sure. I hope someone brings me down one, or we'll figure it out. It'd be emotional for sure. It's I don't know. I haven't really thought much about that. I got goosebumps thinking about it. It'd be a wild one.
Awesome. And well, we certainly hope that you do well Friday. Hopefully I can make it out there. We'll see what the work schedule brings. If not, I'll certainly be watching on Flow Racing, not to promote them, but since they're airing it, I'm going to promote them. Yeah.
Has one of the best burgers around. I know Billy will have the grill fired up. They got good cold beer, and it's no fun racing while everyone's watching at home. We love seeing the grandstands packed, and that's what lets them keep coming back each time. So.
Yeah, and Flow Racing doesn't sell hot dogs or beer, so and that's we want to keep the tracks around, and that's how they stick around. And before you head out and continue to prepare for the big race Friday, we do a hashtag one positive is what we call it, and we asked if you could share one positive thing racing has brought to you or in your life. It could be a person, a win, whatever it might be.
Yeah, so to me, it's easy. It's all the time I get to spend with my dad. We've been doing it for 27 years. So we've got memories. We got times where we wanted to kill ourselves, or not ourselves, probably each other. But we have way, 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 way more good. Just miles up and down the road, late night drives, hours in the shop. Those couple wins that we've been, blessed to be able to get, and celebrating them together.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thank you. And you want to take a moment to thank your sponsors and supporters before you head out?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank Pat and Susan for Angela. Got to thank my mom, my dad, my wife still lets me live a childhood dream. My little buddy, Zach, he works his butt off on this thing to make sure it's ready to go every week. We got Great Lakes Lifting, Fastenal, Clay Nation, Ron and Georgia, C&W. I'm just giving myself a little look here. Smile, you woke up. Ted Brown, memory of Dick Schofield. Yeah. So everyone that's on this race car means a lot to us. We couldn't do it without them. So
awesome. Well, good luck this Friday, Steven.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Sorry, I held you all hostage. And
duty calls.
Hope I see you guys at the track here before the year's out.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks, Steven.
Awesome. Thank you. Y'all. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
All right. And those were our interviews with Anthony Craven and Stephen Brooks. Guys,
look at us doing a
2-for-1 special. Man, a lot to take in there, man.
Yeah.
A lot of energy out of Stephen Brooks. And man, we love it.
A lot of positivity too.
You know what? I feel like the one positive segment, our whole one positive deal is made for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He should definitely be our promoter for the one positive segment each week. Just the energy, the ultra marathoning. Geez, that just and even how the story of getting
my
into
ultra
that.
marathon is like when Netflix posts something.
I mean, I've done a half marathon, and that is taxing enough. I mean, so to do ultra marathons, get 30 plus.
Forget that nonsense. I struggle with a 5K, much less a 50K.
Credit to him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So yeah, lots to digest there. And then Anthony Craven, a lot of good information.
Yeah. Hey, we learned something tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we hope everyone else did too, because like you said last week, kind of in the intro part of the show, we didn't really know a whole lot about Richard, and kind of his history. And
we knew he raced, and someone wanted to make a memorial for him.
Yeah, I thought the stories about Ed Renzi and that connection.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then there's always those kind of stories about interactions. And
then the connection with Grundy. With CR Towing, and they, he helped get, Colin, I forget the kid's name, get him started up there, Yeah.
It's
pretty neat.
It just shows really how small the racing world is. Everybody knows everybody, we used to joke all the time that Dad completely destroyed 6 degrees of separation, but I think that's more the racing world. It's more like 2 or 3. That's, I know somebody right now that knows somebody that raced with Dale Earnhardt. In fact, I've talked to somebody that has raced with Dale Earnhardt. So
I think the racing community seems to be the equivalent of just a small town. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody knows everybody else.
Oh boy, the drama.
Yeah, we got the drama as a small town too.
Yeah, definitely plenty of that. But great stuff. And then Stephen Brooks, man, just the energy that just keeps sticking with me, man. I just love the positivity, love the energy. That's great. Usually when sometimes we get guests on here, it's kind of like pulling nails to get something out.
I'm pretty sure we had to have Eddie Wolf physically restrain Woody Poole to get him on the show at the memorabilia show.
Almost. It was pretty close, but we appreciate all of our guests coming on. Anthony Craven and Stephen Brooks. A lot of stuff to look forward to this weekend at the Kankakee County Speedway with the Richard Craven Legacy and Memorial Race going on there.
Yeah.
Yep. And you know what else is going on this weekend? See, there's a segue.
That's my guys. What else is going on this weekend, Chris?
Well, weather permitting, of course. We got White Sox. I call them legend, I guess. I'm a Cubs fan, so
there are such things as White Sox legends.
Yes, Frank Thomas and Disco Demolition.
You're right.
From 40 years ago.
But Ron
we're
Kittle
going to
be
that.
Half of them are Cubs fans, I think, statistically.
You never know.
So we got former White Sox Ron Kittle going to be at the Grundy County Speedway, and we got the is that this weekend, the Corporal Christian?
I believe that's next
weekend. Yeah.
See, that's what I get for letting Brian write the script this week.
Well, you
White Sox.
You got to keep up.
White Sox night this weekend. Hopefully, I don't need to bring the boat out for the infield. See what's Shady Hill got going on down there in Dirt World.
This weekend we have the Shady Hill 500. We're gonna run 33 4 bangers. Billy kind of talked about it. Getting the old negativity Nancy's out. You're gonna wreck them all. Sort of.
Well, they're 4 bangers. You're going to do anyway, but it'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, what's new?
So we got they're gonna do 3 wide, 11 rows deep, start them all. Sort of. Well, they're not gonna start all, but 33, and so we got that this weekend with a full show. So we got 5 classes. So, as Steven talks about, long nights, I'm ready for a long one. And then
hot dog counter is going to go up.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we need to get Jeremy on After Effects there so we can have some hot dog counter graphics.
I need to get a graphic going on.
Maybe we can find someone to sponsor it. here's $20 for hot dogs.
There you go.
Perfect.
There, if you want to add to the number, Brian is taking donations.
I am. One hot dog at a time.
Either cash or hot dogs. That's a donation.
Or both.
Yeah. And then
just don't put the cash in the hot dog. Bad idea.
Yeah. Then we follow that up with Memorial Day weekend. We got the Brewster Baker Classic, which is the late model show, which is just a Rebel late model class. Nothing coming in or anything. And then, yeah, that's it for shit. Then we get to June.
Yeah.
Then Plymouth has 2,000.
Out east.
2,000 to win Super Outlaw late models this weekend, and then are they completely off next week?
They're doing, next week everything is. Well, yeah, next week, not the day after this episode post, but the following weekend, Memorial Day weekend, everything's at South Bend for their
last lap farewell.
hurrah.
Yeah, we'll have Charlie Hanna on next episode to preview that.
Spoiler alert.
And then
hopefully it goes a little bit easier than getting Brooksy on tonight.
Well, as long as he's not working on truck or something, or the phone's in the other room charging. So, and then of course Kankakee has the Mars tour coming in for the Richard Craven Memorial. And then they're actually off next weekend. They did not land enough pre-entries to commit to their River City Mayhem thing next weekend, so they're actually off. So any of you bombers,
which means it's going to be a beautiful night then.
That's usually how it works. Yeah,
right.
And then you'll get this naysayers. We could have raced this weekend.
Of course.
Yeah.
And although if the weather does ruin things, I guess they have an open slot, but I guess that would depend on Mars, really.
Yeah. Always rough trying to reschedule a touring series.
Yeah, because they're touring.
Yeah, I think Grundy, we kind of got lucky rescheduling the Spring Classic because the Big 8 series hasn't officially started touring yet, so that wasn't a thing. I know there was one year we lost the Midwest Tour because there wasn't an available reschedule date, and I want to say there was one year at Illiana we lost a touring series that year too because there was no good makeup date.
Yep.
We have sometimes at the mercy of Mother Nature, unfortunately. So a lot coming up in the next couple of weeks. I mean, it's almost Memorial Day, and
that we got big races coming up.
Big races coming up, yeah.
Beer truck is full.
Yeah, we got a lot coming up, a lot going on. Definitely enough. If you're not getting your racing fix, you're not trying hard enough. That is for sure. And when you're at the racetrack, make sure to visit Goodacre Photography. They'll get you hooked up with all your pictures.
Yeah, as long as you can get through the crossover gate. Ooh. Sorry, Steve had to. Ouch. I had to.
There's no crossover gate locked down at Shady Hill. Come on down to the scoring tower. Mom will take care of you. I mean, Mom will sell you some pictures.
Either way, I mean,
sorry.
We're gonna get nasty messages from Mom about that.
Yeah. You're
whoops. Whoopsies.
All right, Brian. No more drinking while we're recording.
Yeah. Anyway, Chris, I saw your list of things that Goodacre Photography and Goodacre Design needs to take care of.
We're buried right now because we got autograph day for the mini wedges at Plymouth this weekend. I got it written down here. So Shady Hill autograph night is June 1st. I thought it was June. Anyway, soon. Grundy's is June 15th. So yeah, get your autograph card orders in. Me and Brian hopefully be able to take care of you here. My printer is
Chris
working.
Will take care of you, don't worry.
Oh, thanks. I got my printer. I think is smoking at this point with how much I've put through it just in the past couple days. That's where we're at right now. The new website still it's still up on blocks because we got current stuff going on.
That looks like a after season project at this point.
Yeah. Although I've had a lot of people saying, "Hey, the current website's kind of having the same issues it was last year." So
it sucks.
Yeah. So that's why the new one
Call it
was
like you see it.
gonna be good, but yeah. So that's yeah. Anyway, but yeah, on the design side of things, we had one of our cars found its way to Victory Lane this past weekend.
We got ourselves a winner. Way to go, Anthony Carter. Yes, we had Lakeshore Jake Straka missed the call or something and ended up getting put in a different heat. And but ultimately, Chris Kittle had a solid lead, and I don't know if he hit a cone tire. I don't know what happened, but he kind of fell off. And next thing I know, Anthony Carter's got him by a full straightaway. And as he, I'm capturing him crossing the checkered line, the finish line, the checkers waving. He's got his arm out the window cheering. It was awesome, and he was very excited to come see me in Victory Lane.
I mean, who wouldn't be?
Yeah,
true. Well, when you've never been there before.
Yeah, the first win always is special.
Yeah, and he did win a heat race at Butler last year, so it's not his first time in Victory Lane, period. But this was his first time at Shady Hill, so it was pretty neat. It was a special one, and it was a car that we designed and wrapped and have to finish wrapping because we decided to sale panels after the fact.
Yeah, it's one of those some assembly required projects.
Yeah, but that's exciting. So if anybody's looking for wrap designs, Good Acre Design are your people.
Yeah, sometimes Brian will help with that.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Speaking of car designs, how's that Little Tykes late model coming?
It's waiting on the Good Acre Design to be applied to it.
The Good Acre Design is in house right now. It just has to be in Stan's house.
Yes. So we will see that one as soon as it's done here. Hopefully the next couple of days.
Put it in Victory Lane first night out, just like Anthony did.
There you go.
Well, hey, that would start a tradition.
Got a lot to live up to.
Yeah,
get you guys some business.
We're gonna have to find some good racers.
we got some good racers.
Well, I mean, okay, we've got two. Who's our third one going to be?
Oh, we got Clay Kurtz. We got Cameron Preisler. We got that Manning kid, the Zolod's kid.
True.
Yeah, so a lot going on.
You can add your name to that illustrious list.
Yeah, so contact Chris and Brian at Good Acre Design to get on that. If you need new wrap, replacement wrap, whatever you guys need. Pictures, driver cards, blankets, t-shirts, mugs, whatever.
Yeah, I got a whole stack of sublimation stuff that's been waiting for me to get to it while I do with everything else.
They will do
large prints.
Yeah.
Small prints.
Canvas prints.
Yeah. Cornhole sets.
Yeah, we can do that too.
We all like to pull the RV out. Okay, like two people pull the RV out after the night. Most people go home to get some sleep.
I don't know. About half a Grundy moves out to the outer pit area.
True.
Hey, if they need cornhole boards to keep the night going, we can do that.
Yes, we can. So, since we skipped over the R1 positive, let's circle back around R1 positive, and I'll go first because that is a segue.
He's on fire.
He's heating up.
Well, just talking to talking to Craven and talking to Brooksy tonight. I kind of feel like Dad was sitting in on this one, talking about, all the stories about Richard just kind of reminded me of Dad. And then, Brooksy with his just, ridiculous positivity. That sounds a lot like stuff that Dad would have alluded to. So, and here you're shilling all our stuff just like Dad was always good at. Just so my one positive definitely has to be family with racing here is we kind of Brooks really I latched onto that smile, you're doing it wrong, and God knows everything we've gone through doing this podcast,
we're doing it wrong.
Yeah, we're doing it wrong, but we're having fun doing it. So there you go, follow that.
Yeah, I will follow it. My hashtag one positive is the genuine excitement for racing. Cars are finishing being built. Everyone's getting to the racetrack. I've got people hounding me and talking to me about my hot dog count. I mean, they're, and there's just a general excitement for racing right now. And, as much as we sit back and say, oh, it's a dying sport and whatnot, racetracks are doing things differently because they have to, whether us as traditional race fans like it or not. We got to get new people to the track, and I think the various ways tracks are doing it now. I think they're creating a buzz and an excitement. I'm creating my buzz.
Yeah, believe me, we can tell.
We're aware.
We're aware.
There's a good excitement for racing again that honestly I probably really haven't seen or felt in the past year or two. And of course this is only week 1 or 2 or 3, so probably
Depends on the track.
probably singing a different tune come August when cars are in pieces and bank accounts are dried up. But right now there's a good excitement for racing.
Hey, that's when you start
everywhere we go.
taking different pictures.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there you go. My hashtag one positive for this episode is going to be centered around the racing community itself. Obviously, you talked about it in the intro section. Shout out to Bob Swartz and the issues his daughter had at Shady Hill. But on the post he put out there, I don't think I saw one complaint about it. Again, it's more just prayers and concern for his daughter, and that's that's really how it should be.
Yeah.
We're doing the same. We're wishing on a speedy recovery for her. And yeah, definitely Bob had nothing to apologize for. I understand, nobody wants to be that guy because we've all been in those situations at Illiana or other tracks where you're waiting on an ambulance to come and pick somebody up or take somebody out, and in the moment, and you kind of lose sight of things. But that's the broader thing that somebody's health is definitely first and foremost. So community there, and then also the community we've been able to forge through here. At the S4 crew, we were lucky enough to be able to spend some time out to Plymouth Motor Speedway on Sunday, just kind of shaking the cars down a little bit, making sure everything was good.
How'd that go?
Went good. The cars are in one piece and nothing major.
Good start.
Yeah, no major issues discovered. Everything ran. Everything. All the go parts go and all the stop parts stop. So that was
which is very important.
That was the main thing we were trying to go, but just to be able to have that connection, we could work with Tony to be able to get in there for a little while.
Did you sell Tony on putting super lates on Plymouth?
I can neither confirm nor deny that those talks took place.
Well, Stan was there, so I can confirm they did, and I wasn't even there.
Was Tony there?
Yes, Tony was there for a little while. So, but yeah,
did Stan at some point show Tony what a mirror and a radio?
The words mirror and radio did come up at one point. Yes, I will say that. But just to have that community again, around racing, obviously you call it the racing community. Haha. But yeah, that's my one positive for this episode. So everybody out there, if you're watching, make sure you share your one positive on our comment section here on the YouTube page or on Facebook. Obviously, you're probably watching this on YouTube, so if you haven't hit the like or subscribe, please do so. It just helps the algorithms and all the stuff behind the scenes that I don't really understand and I really don't care to. Either way, like and subscribe. And also, if you don't have time to sit there and watch our video or let it play in the background, you can find the audio version of this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We are out there as well. Keep tabs of us at Facebook and Instagram at Illiana SCR, at Illiana Stock Car Radio. Anything else before we wrap this one up, guys?
Well, you guys are fast. Now it's time to make you look fast.
That should be a Good Acre Design tagline right there.
There it is.
All right.
Well, guess what? You're our focus group now, so let me know if you like that one.
Yeah. Sample size 1. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you this week and every episode that we bring, trying to help just broaden that racing community and keep it thriving and keep it positive.
Oh, I think the hot dogs are broadening the racing community.
It's in a matter of speaking.
We're gonna have to make some shirts.
That's it. You're gonna have to do it. Yeah, we need a hot dog mascot. That's gonna be it. All right. Again, man, we want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. Got a lot coming up on the horizon as far as the local racing calendar and as far as what we're going to be doing here. So again, make sure to keep abreast of all of our social media at Illiana SCR, Illiana Stock Car Radio. Until then, man, make sure to get your backside, trackside, and support all these local racetracks. And we will see you guys next time here on Illiana Stock Car Radio.